With that being said, we switch over to our Sounders here, who after a tough past week, it was kind of a mixed week for them, playing in Starfire on May 11th versus the San Jose Earthquakes in the U.S. Open Cup round of 32 game, losing that game. The regulation score was 2-2, but in penalties, they would lose 9-10. Player of the game, left back Jimmy Medranda with a 8.9 rating, 97 minutes played, 1 goal, 4 total shots, and a 77% pass percentage. That was a tough game. U.S. Open Cup round of 32. The Sounders have won 4 U.S. Open Cups before. And Brian Smith talked about you want to win every trophy that we can. You want to win every game you can.
Yeah.
But it was tough. There was a mixed lineup. There were some starters in. There were some younger guys, and you want to rest some guys following that game and just the overall week after CCL. It's 5 years. That marked 5 years since the Sounders played an Open Cup game at Starfire, which is kind of fun. It's the first time since 2006 that neither Seattle or Portland are among the final 16 teams in the Open Cup. And just a little thing with the note about penalties. Seattle has lost the last 4 penalty shootouts since their 2016 MLS Cup win, all 4 coming early in some sort of playoff form. 2018, 2020 in CCL, 2021 in that round 1 matchup against Real Salt Lake that I was at, and I thought I was bad luck because of that. And then 2022 with this U.S. Open Cup matchup. So it seems like they're paying the price for winning in penalties in 2016, but at the end of the day, you won CCL, U.S. Open Cup, fine, but now you have to focus up on MLS Cup and winning in the actual league.
Right.
With that being said, we go back to the scores here. Playing against Minnesota, a team that you are now 11 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss against all time, and have not lost points to them at home. May 15th versus the Minnesota, they go to play them at Lumen Field, a 3-1 win. All 3 of those goals coming in the second half. Player of the game, midfielder Cristian Roldan with a 9.0 rating, 90 minutes played, 1 goal and 1 assist. So they got back on track this game.
Yeah.
They got back on track. This is a team that has had one of the worst starts to an MLS season in their MLS iteration. And I know that there's, early season Sounders, there's worry about scoring. I think they've scored 13 in their last 7 games now.
Mm-hmm.
But so in 6 of their 10 previous seasons, Seattle's had a stretch of 8 games where they average 0.88 points per game or worse. So that's, around 1 point per game. You want to usually do 1 point per game if you're going to do playoffs. In those seasons, they've finished with an average of 55 points. So they're able to turn things around. And this is one of the deeper rosters in MLS history. I think they'll be able to turn things around. And that started in that second half because they go into halftime down by a goal. You think, shoot, this is the same old thing. And then 3 goals. Cristian Roldan draws a foul in the box for a penalty. Raul puts it away. Cristian scores a beautiful goal from the top of the box where he was just running parallel to the box and then turned and fired top corner. And then Nico adds 1 to end the game, put the final nail in the coffin. This is the Sounders that we expect. This is the firepower that we expect to see. They've had some defensive miscues after being one of the best defensive teams in the league last year. They played really well defensively in CCL. So I think this is stuff to work on. You're going to have to work on things throughout the season. But I think this is a good start because looking at it, their next 2 games are on the road against teams that are 6th and 7th in the Western Conference standings right now. And then you play 5 games at home. So get through those tough games and then try to reestablish Lumen Field as a fortress, that it's been for years. But this is a good start. I think this is a good starting point. Continuing with injury-related news, pardon me. On the 13th, Javier Arriaga cleared concussion protocol, which is good to see. But Jackson Reagan was in health and safety protocols, and we know while dealing with the storm what health and safety usually means. Mm-hmm. So hopefully Jackson's able to deal with that sooner rather than later. But it's good to see that the injury report is mostly clean.
Small, yeah.
Just obviously with João Paulo out for the season, that seeing his name linger around that won't be ideal. But I talk about Cristian Roldan. Having his success that he's had this season will be huge to the success of the Sounders as a whole because he's been playing at an MLB caliber level. Albert Rusnak's been playing great in the midfield. Obed Vargas, a 16-year-old, has been playing great. So it's just, again, talking about the deepest roster in the MLS, you're going to need those guys to step up. And I think that's a luxury.
Yeah.
Obviously, you wouldn't like for João to be injured, but you can somewhat mitigate that. In team-related news, nothing too big on the 15th due to the yellow card that he earned versus Minnesota. Obed Vargas will be suspended for the next game due to yellow card accumulation. So he'll be out in that game against Houston. Seattle sits today 3 wins, 5 loss, 1 draw record. 11th in the Western Conference right now. They bumped up a few spots. The next few games over this next week are May 18th at the Houston Dynamo with a 4:30 p.m. kickoff. Houston is the 6th seed in the West currently. And then May 22nd at the Colorado Rapids, a 5 p.m. start. They are the 7th seed in the West. So you got 2 teams that are, obviously trying to set themselves up for playoff success. And Cristian Roldan said it too. You're going to get every team's best shot. You're the
Definitely.
Sounders. You just won CCL. You've been one of the best teams in American soccer. You're going to get everyone's best shot. So